I'm Buster Beckenhauer, fourth generation of Beckenhauer construction.
Joe Beckenhauer, fifth generation, current president of the company.
The construction company moved to Norfolk in 1909. Our company got started in Wakefield, Nebraska in 1878, where my great-grandfather, after learning the mason trade over there, started out his own business. They traveled from town to town back then, working on commercial building projects. They moved to Norfolk in around 1909, and the first major project that I'm aware of was the original YMCA building. And from that time on, the family and the company has been located in Norfolk. The City Auditorium was a big one. Stories about that is a WPA project, and they would only allow the workers to work 6 hours. There was a 12-hour day, so they'd have 2 shifts. And how they had people sitting in line outside waiting for a chance to get a job if somebody messed up. You know, if somebody stopped to light a cigarette, that was cause to get fired because somebody else was waiting for their job. Another older building that the information about it kind of intrigued me was the Masonic Lodge. When our company built that, my dad told me that the contract for that was $35,000. Great-grandfather and 3 of his sons were active in the business. They built the Presbyterian Church. My father and I were involved with the rebuilding of that church, the Presbyterian Church, in 1991. All of the relatives that were involved in the company were bricklayers by trade until they got to my father. And the story was my grandfather told him, "You're a left-hander. I don't know how to teach you to be a bricklayer." So he was a carpenter. But then I suppose when they felt the time was right, then my grandpa helped teach me to be a mason. I remember I was only 12 when the current Daily News building was built, but seeing the pile driving operation in the basement to hold up the weight of the presses was really impressive to me. I remember seeing that, and I still remember the prior building where it was located. You know, I was fairly young, but I still remember that.
You know, my main memories are, you know, again, being involved in the church. Spent a lot of time there. Growing up through the Y was always a big part of it. You know, not only did our family build each, you know, the original one, and then after that, the additions. But you know, I went through Super Tots there. You know, did all the sports through there, so I spent a lot of time there, and you know, knew all the kids, whether they went to Catholic or public and stuff like that. So that was kind of my memory. You know, growing up, we lived in the country closer to Battle Creek, but summers I spent more time in Norfolk than in Battle Creek or at home, and a lot of times would be at my grandparents' house. So I always had a bike. You know, my memories are riding down close to the school and playing on the playground, or riding it down on the gulch, stuff like that, and riding on the trails. You know, getting to high school, it was like most kids that age. It was cruising Maine on a Friday or Saturday night. In fact, that's where I met my wife.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You know, I always was active in sports and liked sports. Really liked basketball, but I think one of the things I remember in my younger years was really enjoyed the summer league baseball, and Jerry Neely and Sue Campbell were the two coaches that took care of you and taught you everything from when you were a t-shirt league, when I think my first year I was probably 6 years old, and they handled it all the way through the Legion for high schoolers. And you know, the fields where we played is where the library is now, and from there, when we get done playing, like if we were Pee Wee League or Little League, you were usually playing after lunch, and so it was pretty warm. Well, by the time you rode your bike there, it wasn't too much farther to ride your bike over to King's swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of memories of being at the pool at King's. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is friendly, and big enough to have things to do, and yet very small town feel to it. Comfortable town, easy to get around.
Yeah, well, it depends on who I'm talking to. Trying to take their perspective, whether it's, some people it's going to be a decent sized town, some it's, really small. Overall, it's a good family environment, friendly people, clean, like I said, there is some stuff to do, maybe not as much as, Omaha or anything like that, but, you don't have to deal with the traffic or anything like that either, so, it's a place I always knew I'd come back to after college and that kind of stuff, and where I want to raise my family. And it's worked out that a lot of the people in our company have come back for that reason too. They were ones that maybe left to go to college and then thought they wanted the big city, and all of a sudden they started thinking they're going to have kids and realized that it wasn't so bad. Maybe we want to do the same thing. So.
I'd like to see some additional blue and white collar businesses come to town. We've had some, but we've lost some, and our net gain isn't really that good.
I'd like to see continued progression. Making sure it's a sustainable place for my kids. If it's a place they want to stay, and hopefully they do. Always looking for ways to help bring more people back, people that have left, or bring people in both to get, it needs to keep growing, otherwise it's dying.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we don't want to lose the close feel, the family atmosphere that the town has, but we can't allow that to stop it from growing either. Say overall it's the people. You'd be proud to have people come visit you and see it for themselves. Have the people that say hi and are friendly, and it's just a good place to be.
There's a lot of heritage here that I'm proud of, and it's not just ours. It's what goes back with a lot of the other families and family-owned businesses that have been here a long time. There's a closeness about that.